Welcome to NORL Busch Bonanza from Kansas for the Hollywood Casinos 300. On the pole, Tommy Davis Jr. Outside pole, Philip Parker. Second row, Mark Guthrie and Ken Joint. On the third row, we have Aaron Cummings and Kevin Corbett. Row 4, Jared Mogard and Brandon Rains. Row 5, Adam Beresford and Dave Daniels. Then we got Frank Womack and Mark Huron. Time to change our camera angle, so we can actually see the rest of the field. Then it's going to be Mike Carroll and Doug Spark, Raybo Womack and Patrick Cowgill, Joe Polson and Bernard Person, Nigel Ramaswamy and David Courtney, Matt Bontempi and Jackson Vatcher, Brendan Cruz Monseves and Connor Germain, Scott Drake and JT Armstrong, Ron Stout and Jim Fitzmaurice, Ramondre Diggs and Tony Bunto Jr., Jack Painter and Ronaldo Scott, Broderick Whitman and Scott Deutsch, Alex Stello and Jacob Stump, Yori Rodriguez, and I believe that's Thomas Farrer. I think this might be his first start of the season. Curtis Griffin and Isaac Groth, Larry Sheldrick and Tom Barber, and shotgun on the field is Reno Jackson. It's going to be 300 miles around the Kansas Speedway for these drivers today. We're expecting fast, hard action from the country's heartland. Let's see, did I skip any of this in the recording session? I don't think I did. We'll just fast forward to the command to start engines, because we don't need to sit here after I finish doing the grid. Alright, pre-race ceremonies wrapping up, and we are preparing for the command to start engines. Would help if I hit the play button again. Alright. Gentlemen, start your engines! The command has been given. The engines have fired. And the field rolls off. And the field rolls off behind the pace car. Every car has gotten away. So we're expecting some very tight, fast racing. There should be some drafting and some pack racing, especially early on and on fresh tires. As the tires wear, we may see the field spread out some. Key's going to be to keep it out of trouble and make it to the end here for green flag pit stops. Key's going to be to not make any mistakes. This field comes through turns 3 and 4, exiting 4 now. The pace car is going to come in. The pace car makes way for the field. They're in the starter's hands now. And we are green from Kansas. Davis pulls ahead into turn 1. Guthrie on the bottom following through. The bottom line has the momentum here. Now Guthrie looking for the lead. They are 3 wide for third. Parker has to get way out of the throttle. Here comes Guthrie to the lead. And Mark Guthrie will lead the first lap here at Kansas. Now Mogard coming forward. Big push from Beresford. Beresford's going to immediately get to the inside here. Womack giving a big push. Beresford the leader. And here comes Frank Womack. Womack a huge push from Mike Carroll and Raybo. Mike looking for the lead. He's there on the quarter panel. Yeah, Frank will have it at the line. There's some bonus points for Frank Womack. Frank had a dominant car most of the season, but has not been able to get the consistency to make it a points lead. Dave Daniels, points leader still. So we near the... I'd say we're right about the 1/3 distance in the season, actually. Mike pulling ahead, and we have a caution. Caution on the speedway. Mike Carroll going to be the leader. Accident involving Scott Deutsch down the backstretch. Let's see what we got here. Ramondre Diggs gets up into him, pushes him up into the wall. Gets collected with Alex Stello, and around goes the Jack in the Box machine. Let's see if we can get a helicopter shot to get an idea of... Yeah, 41's just coming up, and there's not room there, and pinches them into the wall. Jack Painter just gets around that. Everybody else seems to get through all right. Nobody else was involved. So they come around under caution now. First caution of the day early on. Incident near the back of the field. Running order as we take this caution. Mike Carroll, Patrick Calgo, Philip Parker, Frank Womack, Mark Huron, Nigel Ramaswamy, Tommy Davis, Doug Spark, Bernard Person, and who is that? That's Matt Bontempi in the top 10. Alright, let's see if we have any takers to pit road. I think we're probably going to see everybody come in here. And it does look like the whole field coming in here early on. Top off with fuel at the very least. Let's see who's going to win this race off at pit road, though. Because I think some people are going to do tires and some are just going to do fuel. And it looks like Bontempi and Calgo will be the first couple off the pit road. There'll be a little bit of a mix-up here. Very mixed on strategy here, what you do. See, Deutsch is going to resume, so that car will not be out of the race, fortunately. And I see Alex Stello coming down the pit lane. Very long stop for the 01, though. Lights out on the pace car. So after the pit stops, running order. Patrick Calgo leads over Matt Bontempi, Philip Parker, Mike Carroll, Doug Spark, Tommy Davis, Nigel Ramaswamy, Ken Joint, Aaron Cummings, and Dave Daniels, the top 10. Alright, pace car is going to peel in, and we're going to let him loose again. Pace car's in. And we are green flag racing from Kansas once again. When Tempe doesn't get up to speed very quickly, here comes Parker charging past him. Parker and Carroll right with Calgal. And we have another caution yellow out immediately, and it looks like things have gone bad for Thomas Fair in his, I believe, his first start of the season. There's been a crash on the restart in the back of the field. Let's see if we can figure out what has happened back here. So Mark was a lap down. He's just coming full speed on the field. He's going to get into the 86, turn him around, and put him up into the field. Ew! And they stacked up big time there. That... Officials aren't going to look too kindly on that kind of move. So, pit stops again, everybody coming in, and it sounds like the 01 will be getting a black flag for that. That seems more than fair for that sort of driving. Just flying up on the inside on a restart and wiping cars out is not something officials are going to take too kindly to. Alright, let's get to the restart. Alright, after the latest round of pit stops. Leader is Doug Spark. Behind we got Ken Joint, Patrick Calgal. First three cars, all with threes in them. Then Mike Carroll, Nigel Ramaswamy, Philip Parker, Matt Bontempi, Mark Guthrie, Raybo Womack, and Bernard Person. A lot of threes up here at the front of the field. Pace car comes in. Spark gonna lead him to the green. And green again from Kansas. And we've got the 007 coming in on the restart. Something wrong with the Montreal Canadiens machine. And here comes Ken Joint looking for the lead down the backstretch. Ken Joint will be the leader now. Field looking a little more spread out than they have been all day. Maybe we're learning some lessons. I doubt it. These guys don't seem to learn any lessons in my experience. Guthrie going for the lead. He's got him. Somewhere around, I think I'll go to select none on that camera. And just see what the field spread looks like. As Guthrie now leads. And here comes Parker to take it away from him. 86 on its way out of the pits. Thomas Fair is out of this race. We do have some stragglers off the back from both their own pace and accident damage, and look at that, here comes the field again. Field's kind of spreading out now. And we've got some lap cars out here that are going to be a thing to contend with for the faster cars. The lead lap cars, as it were. As they've caught the 11 now. And look at this logjam as they catch slower cars. That 11 is way off pace. Officials might look at parking some of these slower cars if they prove to be a huge hinder, and car bouncing off the wall. Daniels now leading up at the front. Let's get back up to the front of the field. Binford Tools Machine. This has been a very strong car. Not necessarily as dominant some weeks as Frank Womack is, but he's been far more consistent, and that's why he's the points leader. Here comes Beresford taking a charge at him. Beresford's going to take the lead. They got some more lap traffic in front of them. Painter right in the middle of the track. Oh, Beresford couldn't get the run on the outside, so now Daniels and Carroll are going to go by, and they better get alongside Reno before the turn-in point here. And they do contact behind. Car on the wall. Beresford and Painter. Ooh, and Beresford shows his displeasure there, giving him a nice smack as he comes by. Yeah, he went for the inside, and Guthrie was there. They got together. Raybo just about got into that accident. Caution out. Both cars into the wall heavily. And Beresford gives it a hit for good measure there on the end. Let's get on board with Beresford. He's right up here, trying to find the hole, sees an opening on the inside, and he goes for it, but there's not as much of an opening as he thinks there is. And into the wall we go. A lot of smoke up there in the high groove. Everybody's sneaking by on the bottom as this car spins on the track. Bonk. Gives him one more hit for good measure. Going to hinder Adam's chances of being a contending driver in this race now. And it looks like everybody is going to come on into the pit lane here for a stop. And it looks like the 86 has been retired from the race, so 2 cars for sure out of the race now. Mike Carroll's going to win the race off of pit road. Oh, this Ken Joint nearly takes out Doug Spark. Painters resume. We'll have to see if he can make minimum speed though. Beresford is also going to resume. Yes, there was a lap forward button. Alright, doubled up for the restart. Top 10 running order as we prepare for this restart. Mike Carroll, Dave Daniels, Jackson Vetcher, Doug Spark, Raybo Womack, Bernard Person, Frank Womack, Ronaldo Scott, Broderick Whitman, and Kevin Corbett are the top 10. 2 cars out of the race, Rains and Farrer both out. Down a lap we have Painter, Sheldrick, down 2, Jackson, Polson, and Huron. Huron was penalized. And we are green again. Look at these slow cars in the bottom stacking everybody up. That 11 is way off, son. I think officials might be looking to park that car here shortly. And Daniels looking for the lead down the back. And Dave Daniels back to the lead. Oh, that was an edgy move. Spark gets to the inside. is going to try to make a move here. Daniel's sort of stretching away from this battle behind him. They've got some room to battle. Everybody else trying to catch back up and getting slowed by the lap traffic on the restart. Here comes Raybo and Vatcher screaming past. Raybo gets right to the bumper. Dave's gonna have a pair of Womacs to deal with here in a moment. And here they come, looking to the inside. Is Frank not going to push Raybo, though? That's, surprising. Selfish, too. And Raybo and Frank now working together. Doug Spark comes into this battle. Is Raybo even going to lead this lap? Just barely. Broderick Whitman trying to close in on this battle up at the front. A lot of Pontiacs here at the front. We got 3 Pontiacs, 2 Chevrolets, and a Ford up here at the front as they catch that 11 car that is way off song. I think it's about time the officials bring that car in. It is just a rolling chicane. And Mike Carroll does get around him. Yeah, Larry's got crash damage and he's already slow to begin with. It's not pretty. Here comes Dave Daniels again. Here comes Broderick charging forward. Dave Daniels has caught Beresford, who's trying to put a little bit of fight to stay on the lead lap, but can't do anything about it. So, car that was involved in running over a slow piece of junk lap car has become himself a slow piece of junk lap car. Shocking. Here comes Broderick looking for the lead himself. I don't think he's got enough of a run. He doesn't have enough help yet. Might get it in 1 and 2. The second pack seems to be closing in. Broderick pulls out ahead, but here comes Frank and Vatcher, and he's going to get pinned in behind the 007. Nope, 007 gets to the bottom. Might check everybody up evenly for a moment. Nope, going to check up the high side more. Here comes Kevin leading that second group. looking for a way around. If they'd work with each other instead of against each other, they might get somewhere. I'm wondering if Doug was maybe waiting for Kevin to get up here, but clearly not. Here comes Doug Spark to the lead. Ooh, Raybo's like, no, I want this lead. It's the closest to the front we've seen Kevin thus far today, up into 5th. He'd like to get up here and lead some. Already seen his teammate leading. Has the pace to lead. Let's see, there's some lap traffic looming ahead for the leaders now. Raybo Womack the leader, they're catching the 7. Down the back, they're going to get to the inside. Oh, there's the 11. Yikes. Maximum yikes. Yeah, that 11 needs to be parked. I don't know what the game is here that the officials are playing, letting this car continue to lap like this. Jackson just blocking the whole field now. Now they find an outlet to get past him. Carroll now leads. Traffic playing a big factor here at the front of the field, really mixing this pack up. And when you look at that, Frank back to the lead. Calgo and Aaron Cummings now charging through. Back's gotten really mixed up here, hasn't it? And here comes Aaron in the Waffle House machine to the lead. Look at how small the lead group's gotten down to. A couple just hanging on to the back, honestly. the 11 might have finally gotten parked. Couple of 7's getting caught again. It's going to stack this lead pack up again. Kept Vatcher from losing this draft. He was a great risk at doing that a moment ago. 3 wide now as they go around traffic. That was tight. Second pack is trying to form up and get up here, but well, now Beresford's getting lapped. So further hindrance to this pack's efficient flow. Dave Daniels might be going back to the second pack. Doug Spark leads at the front of the field. More lap traffic looming ahead, though. And that chucked them all up. Isaac Growth going a lap down. And Jacob Stump. Rodriguez going down a lap. And so will Curtis Griffin. Hey, look, it's Reno Jackson again. Hey, look, it's Reno Jackson again! Jeez Louise, that was nearly a colossal crash at the front of the field. Jackson turned in on Cummings like he wasn't even there. And I don't know that Aaron lifted. So we've got a trio at the front trying to stretch away. It's Cummings, Davis, and Cowgill. And Davis doesn't like the idea of following Cummings this whole time, so he's going to try to make a pass, which is only going to help the group behind make time on them, because that's how that works. They're catching Tom Barber to put him down a lap. Guthrie's going to be going down a lap here too shortly. He was strong earlier. Tom Barber now down a lap. And Aaron did not get around him as Poulsen dives to the pits. And Guthrie picked up some right side damage somewhere. Might have gotten into the wall at some point, I don't know. As we are now going by Jack Painter. Green flag pit stops. I thought it started. We see the 3 dive to the pits. Leaves Tommy Davis out here all by himself. He's got Guthrie with him, but Guthrie's not helping. And here he comes to the pit lane. So we're going to see how these pit stops cycle out. Davis and Raybo are still pretty close together. Here comes Cowgill and Frank. At speed down the backstretch. I think they're going to end up together here. A lot of them. That seems to be the size of it. We got about a second clear of him, but we're going to drag him right back here. I think we've got a lead pack now, 7 cars in it. In this lead pack we have Tommy Davis, Frank Womack, Scott Drake, Kevin Corbett, Patrick Cowgill, Aaron Cummings, and Raybo Womack. Although it is stretching a little bit at the front. There's the 7 getting lapped once again. Kevin still hasn't let a lap. He's got a crease in that fender. Where did that come from? I mean, he's bumped into somebody. Kevin fades to the back of this group. More traffic for them to catch. This traffic's really just sort of keeping this race honest. Everybody in it. Somehow. Usually in these races, traffic would be eliminating cars, but in this one, it's going to keep people in it. Kind of surprised how okay Scott Deutsch's car really seems to be after that crash early on. I thought he was going to be a slow, hulking wreck, but he seems to be alright. Just, you know, not on pace to this lead back after 80 some odd laps. Has finally gone a lap down. Traffic is starting to get a little heavier back here as they catch more and more cars. There's Beresford. They're catching Met and Tempe now. Whoa, that looked edgy there for a moment. Stump going another lap down. Ooh, wow. 7 was in a bad spot there. Kevin's going to try to use Bontempi to get a lap lead here, and I think he's going to succeed. Kevin going to lead a lap. Starting to settle back into a status quo up here at the front. Seems like the same few cars keep working their way up to the front of this pack. Caught Reno again. So we got 26 cars in the lead lap. 40 cars still running. Next car to get lapped is going to be Philip Parker. Tempe's hanging with these guys. I think he just got unlucky and lost the draft. This pack has been dwindled down a little bit. They've finally dropped Scott Drake from it. Scott's coming back into it now. Kevin going for the lead again. catching traffic, including the 79. Philip Parker going a lap down. So we're now past halfway. Guess we can go through the field here a little bit. We'll start with this lead pack. Tommy Davis is leading. Patrick Calgo going for the lead in second right now. And we've got Scott Drake, Aaron Cummings, a lap down Matt Bontempi in this group. Kevin Corbett, Frank, and Raybo Womack. Just got lapped at 79 of Philip Parker. Then the second pack led by Mogard and Spark. Mike Carroll's drifted back into this pack. We've got Ken Joint back here, Ronaldo Scott, David Courtney, JT Armstrong, Mark Guthrie's lost a lap, Brandon Cruz Manceves, Jackson Batcher, Roderick Whitman. And just getting shuffled out of this pack, we got Bernard Person, and here we got Dave Daniels back here. He was pretty strong earlier, lost some time on the pit stop, and has come back here. That's going to be, yep, Tony Tonto Jr., Ron Stout from Andre Diggs. Mark Huron a couple laps down, has some damage he picked up after being a general menace. For the 37, Nigel Ramaswamy back here running with Connor Germain and Jim Fitzmaurice. They are well back off the field and are next set of cars that may be going their first lap down. That's the field as they run right now, at least all the lead lap cars. Out of the race, Larry Sheldrick was parked. Rains had a issue. The 36 Thomas Farrer makes a race and gets crashed out. Look at them get stacked up with the lap traffic. That's just what's been happening every time they catch some of these cars. They're not slow enough to get parked, but they are not fast enough to keep up. How far out ahead Frank got and all that. Here's Reno getting lapped again. Whoa, Frank nearly ran him over. So Patrick Calgo's been dropped out of the lead group, and he's going to slowly fade back to the second group. And apparently Frank's going for a breakaway. Caution. Caution on the speedway. Oh, no, I think we just missed that on our camera shot. Aaron Cummings in it. I think that just happened behind Frank. Let's actually hit play here. Love when I misclick. Coming through the traffic here. Oh, nope, something broke on that car. Oh, and he went hard into the wall. Got collected by Parker. And then Isaac hit him. Around with the 64 in the middle of the back stretch. And everybody got by him. Yikes. So we have a caution on the speedway. And that was a contending car knocked out of the running. So smoke clears down the back. Running order. Before we pit, we've got Frank Womack, Kevin Corbett, Scott Drake, Tommy Davis, Raybo Womack, Patrick Calgo, Doug Spark, Jared Mogard, Dave Daniels, Mike Carroll, and I believe Matt Bontempi's going to get a free pass here. That car was keeping up with the leaders, so getting a free pass might put him into contention here. I think Raybo and Doug are going to stay out here. A bunch of cars are pitting when they're not supposed to be. Officials apparently told everybody they could just go ahead and pit for some... Oh, because of debris on the track. Alright. That's what they're telling us, is that they were worried that somebody might have picked up a puncture and they just want everybody in that wanted to come in. Some cars clearly staying out. What? Frank, what are you doing? You silly goose. You stupid. Okay, well, I think we figured out what order they're going to want to run in. Alright, so Raybo Womack and Doug Spark have stayed out. Then it's going to be Ron Stout, who's struggling to line up where he's supposed to. Frank Womack, Kevin Corbett, Scott Drake, David Courtney, Tommy Davis, Patrick Calgo, and Bernard Person is the running order. I don't know what the 22 is doing. The officials are... Ooh, the officials, I'm being told, are up on the roof and on the crew chief's box down there with the 22 crew, and not happy with where he's put his car in the lineup. That's not where he's supposed to be. And they waved off the green for this. Because now Tom Barber's not letting him get where he's supposed to be, but why is he even down there? housekeeping. 51 and 64, I believe, are both done for the day. 79 possibly. I'm trying to see if I see him out on track. No, looks like 79's still out there circulating. I see him at the back of the queue. He's just not lining up on the inside where he's supposed to be. Well, they've moved the 22. Have they? They think they're going to give him an end of the line penalty here because he has just refused to line up where he's supposed to. We'll see if they can actually get him to go back there. Seems like he is now going to settle back where he belongs. That will change the running order. That will advance Ronaldo Scott into the top 10. Are the officials happy with where the 22 is yet, or are we going to get another wave off? Yep, they've waved it off again, because the car's still not lined up where it's supposed to be. And now what's happening with Jared Mogard? He and the 9 car have jumped out of line. 22's finally settling back to the end of the line. Looks like I think Jared came to the pit lane there. Jared tried to come to the pit lane, ran somebody into the grass, and now they're pushing him to his pit box. Interesting. What a chaotic yellow this has been. Alright, running order now that I think we're done with the nonsense. Raybo Womack, Doug Spark, Frank Womack, Kevin Corbett, Scott Drake, Tommy Davis, Patrick Cowgill, Bernard Person, Ronaldo Scott, and Jackson Vatcher are the top 10. And I think this time we may actually get a green flag. Although the 9 appears to be out of position. He was the one that got pushed into the grass by the 15, but they may just be telling him to go to the back of the line. Nope, they've waved it off because he's out of position still. And they don't want to have to deal with that. Is he going to be able to get into position is the question. And now Doug Spark has... Nope, Raybo has dropped to the inside. The pits are closed at this point, so I don't know what he's going to try to do. If he pits here, they're going to give him a penalty, but it looks like he's trying to come to the pit lane. And he does. Apparently deciding now that he should have pitted at the beginning of this yellow flag. A little late for that now. That's going to advance Doug Spark to the lead. And Raybo's going to, at the very least, get an EOLL, if not a black flag for that. Alright, I guess we're going to try the running order one more time. I'm not even sure I care to do the running order anymore. It's going to advance JT Armstrong into the top 10. Will be the change. I think they finally got the field sorted out. Mostly. The 9 is still in the way back there, but if they can get him where he's supposed to be. These teams arguing that they shouldn't have to go to the back of the line, but officials are like, you could have let the car down and out of the way. You kind of put yourself there. I don't know that I agree with that call, but let's see if we're going to get a green here. This has been a very long yellow flag period. And it's a wave off again. Alright, I guess I'll read off the running order, because this time I think we are going to get a green flag. It's Doug Spark, Frank Womack, Kevin Corbett, Scott Drake, Tommy Davis, Patrick Calgo, Bernard Person, Ronaldo, Scott Jackson-Batcher, JT Armstrong, Broderick Whitman, Tony Tonto Jr., Brandon Cruzman, Seves, and Doug Spark now is going to be coming to the pits on the green. I don't even know anymore what are we doing? This is bad strategy, no matter how you shake it. Pace cars in, although technically the pits are open now, as we're going green. But weird. We'll see what penalties come from all that. Green flag's out. Frank Womack waits into the green. Ooh, that was a big checkup. And what we've got to see is if the field's going to coalesce here, or if we are going to see the field. Here's Parker getting lapped. We are seeing the front of the field kind of grow here a little bit, especially when they catch a car like this. Davis leads. We got Mike Carroll and Kevin Corbett right here with him, along with Jackson Vatcher and Brandon Cruz Monsalves. A little bit of a gap, actually, that's really kind of in flux behind Cruz Monsalves, honestly. They're just sort of trying to hang with it and get back up there. The field's been strung out as it laps traffic, but I think some of this is going to come back together. Very interesting to see how some of this cycles out. I still don't know what Raybo and... Oh, OBS disconnected. Why did that happen? Oh boy, OBS reconnected. I don't know why that happened. Every now and then you just get a little hiccup. Anyway, and we see Parker and Stump about to get lapped again. These are the catches that keep, whoa, mixing this field up. Sometimes it brings people up to the front, sometimes it kicks them out of the front pack. I think that one's kept Frank out of the lead group. A lot of traffic up ahead of the leaders. Tommy's caught this bottleneck of 3 slow cars. And he's going to try to cut his way through them. Ooh, I thought Reno was going to turn in there and just cause a huge crash. There's Ron Stout. He's already 1 down, looking to go 2. And the 15 apparently is done for the day, so there's Jared out of this race. Apparently whatever issue he was diving to the pits for was dire. We got 3 that have broken away at the front here. And honestly, Vatcher's just hanging with them. Feels like Tommy's just going flat out as hard as he can, trying to stretch the whole field out, because the second group behind, I'm not even sure you can call this a group anymore, is not making any gains on them. I mean, that's not even really much of a group either. It's just cars 5 to 10 car lengths apart, just barely getting draft on each other. Nobody's gaining. Patrick Cowgill's about to go a lap down, is he? Well, he's had a problem and already lost a lap. I must have missed that somewhere in the cycle here. As we're eliminating good cars from contention, it's making it easier and easier for these guys at the front to try to pull away. I think Calgo will actually stay with him here. Thatcher's lost the lead group now, with a strong lap car getting added to it that may actually help the two of them get away. Be damn courteous if they'd let Patrick lead it, so that he's not 2 laps down, but I don't think they want to give him any chance to come back. They want his help, but they don't want him to benefit from it. This car does look a whole lot better in white than it did in silver last season. Thatcher's gone back to the second group now. Coming up on 50 to go here shortly. Carroll's going to look for the lead here, because he sees traffic ahead and knows this could be an opportunity. They're catching Rodriguez and Griffin. So Mike Carroll now leads. Goes Mike past the lap cars. Got Tom Barber up next to catch. And he's got the 3 slowest cars on the track up there. And no good way to get around him. Cowgill goes to the bottom. This might bring the second group up for a bit. see cars coming to the pits. Lost track of the leader, haven't I? There we go. Looked away for a second. And here they come into the pits. So this will probably be setting us up for the final phase of the race. We'll see who comes out with the lead. Is Doug Spark the leader? What? Because he and Raybo are off sequence by like 10. And we have a caution! Well, that's probably saved their strategy. What's the caution for? Is debris yellow? I don't see an incident. I think it's the debris yellow. I'd seen some cars brushing the wall. Well, that's going to work out for them. And this will put the pack back together. And the free pass is going to go to Jim Fitzmaurice from the looks of it. Let's see how this all shakes out. Are they really staying out at the front of the field? There's no way they can make it. Well, alright, running order. Doug Spark, Raybo Womack, Mike Carroll, Tommy Davis, Scott Drake, Kevin Corbett, Ronaldo Scott, David Courtney, Brendan Cruz-Monsevis, and Tony Tonto Jr. are the top 10. Pace cars coming in. They lead them away here. I think Doug and Raybo need another caution because I don't know why they didn't pit there. That was their opportunity to get a free pit stop and stay in this race, and instead they stayed out. And now they're coming into the pits, so... Okay. Dumb strategy continues from those two teams. Mike Carroll's now the leader. It's going to take a caution, like, right now for them to have any chance. Okay, there it is. There's the caution. Maybe they knew that was coming. I think Frank's in it. Oh, big crash! Oh my goodness, Reno Jackson tumbling down the backstretch. That was a massive crash. Holy cow. Holy Toledo, Batman. What the hell happened there? And watch again. Drivers do seem to be slowly moving in the cars. There's contact right there. Oh. Oh. Oh my. That was... We've had a big one here, folks. Into the wall. Cars start getting... They don't flip right away. So Stello's in it. Ken Joint was in it from the beginning. Look at some of these guys sneaking past it. And I think somebody out of frame... Ooh, Ron Stout got into the back of the 33. Poulsen whacks that car right there. Something's already flipped the 77 on its lid. It's just tumbling down the backstretch. I think it's going to land right here on the roof of Frank Womack, and that's what gets that car flipping. Oh, just a massive, massive incident. And Reno just continues to flip. What happened here? So Ken and Frank get together and they just take Reno into the walls, an innocent victim. Stello gets collected. And then Beresford pounds into Reno and gets him flipping. And he gets way up there in the air. Flings over the top of the 48. Oh, what a massive, massive incident. I don't know. I'm worried for these drivers, to be totally honest. Okay, at real speed. That was just absolutely massive. How far back was Beresford? Jeez. He just came out of the smoke and there were cars crashing hard in front of him. Whoa, that thing was up there. Let's get an angle from somebody that actually got through it, because I'm gonna just... I'm gonna try something with the camp. Actually, let's go to a car that's on the bottom side of the track. That's a good spot. Let's see what that looked like from there. Yeah, that was not... Oh, there's a secondary crash back here. I didn't even see this. There was a crash coming back. I believe. I thought I saw a car get pitched into the wall back here? I did. Kevin got together with a couple of guys. There was a second crash though that didn't even bring out... That wasn't even the cause of the yell. Look at this. Kevin's going to get into the quarter panel of Tom and just send him and Scott into the wall. Now, I think Raybo and Doug still managed to end up a lap down and all that. And Mike Carroll's the leader. As they come down the backstretch, a lot of smoke back here. Free pass is going to go to Mark Guthrie, though. From the looks of it, as Mike runs into the back of the 80. And Doug Spark and Raybo actually beat him to the timing line. They're getting waved around. As is Mark Guthrie. There we go. It's definitely going to be day over for the 48 and the 77. Like, I don't see any way they continue. 007's probably going to be done. 79's been done for the day for a while. There's 23 cars on the lead lap now. Alright, we're going to get set up for a restart. Running order: Mike Carroll, David Courtney, Tommy Davis, Tony Tonto Jr., Jackson Vatcher, Ronaldo Scott, Kevin Corbett, Connor Germain, Scott Drake, and Broderick Whitman. I don't think we've seen Connor anywhere near the front all day, but here he is now. Frank Womack and Reno Jackson have both been taken to the hospital by ambulance. We will give you further update. They are at least communicative from what we're hearing from the care center, but there may be some injuries to worry about on those two drivers. As Alex Stella seems to be having an issue here. Maybe contemplating whether he wants to continue racing after seeing what he just saw. That car was so far up in the air. These cars in. Just around 30 to go. We are green. And the 90s had a problem. Bernard Person slowing to the apron. Breakaway at the front, two cars checking out. Davis going to try to run them down. Still logjam for all the lead lap cars. Three-car breakaway at the front, everybody else stuck behind this logjam. Now some of them are getting through. see. I don't know anybody's gonna make up all that time now. Lead trio. Mike Carroll, David Courtney, and Tommy Davis. Laps are getting few. Battling for the lead. What happened to the 13's faded right off of this. I think he's had a hiccup. And caution on the speedway. I think I see where there may have been incident. I think Doug Spark might have been in this one. Oh yeah, Doug was in this. Did they get 4 wide? No, they didn't get 4 wide. They got checked up behind Ron Stout, and then they came together trying to get away from him. And Doug took him into the fence. A lot of contact there. That's probably going to put a damper on Doug's chances to continue to get a good finish out of this race. Alright, lights are out on the pace car. So running order, Tommy Davis, Mike Carroll. Oops, that's space car. David Courtney, Dave Daniels, Ramondre Diggs, Raybo Womack, Kevin Corbett, Jim Fitzmaurice, Brandon Cruz Monsevis, and JT Armstrong are our top 10 now as we get ready for a restart. Inside 20 to go. Green, green, green. Fresh box was just delivered. I'll have to go grab that here in a few laps. And while we're watching this lap, we're watching a two-car battle for the lead. Mike Carroll and Tommy Davis. Dave Daniels is slowly closing on this breakaway. I think the whole pack's going to bring these two back. It's going to take a little bit of time. If they cooperate, they might be able to hold them off. But I doubt they're going to cooperate. Here comes Daniels. Not going to work together, and here comes Daniels. The rest of the field seems to be closing too. Daniels going straight by them both, going for the lead. Got a couple of slow cars that the officials are apparently talking to telling them when they get caught to get out of the way, otherwise they're getting parked. We really don't want that to decide this race, do we? Here comes Calgol. He was a lap down at one point, now he's coming back for it. Yellow fell at the right time for him. That's the car I was trying to focus on. As Daniels gets shuffled back to fourth. Laps are clicking away quickly here. This group's only growing. We're going to let Kevin into the back of this group here. And Patrick's going to have to regroup. There's some lap traffic they're catching. That's going to check them all up. Whoa, close to a crash, and the 7's, yep, 7's coming in. They were getting that car out of the way. I think that's the last time we'll see that car today. But that has brought a bunch of cars up into this. But it's let Daniels and Davis stretch away at the front for a moment. See if they drag them back. It's now a battle for third back here. This is the battle for the lead. Two cars out ahead Oh, Dave, I think it's about 4 laps too early for that. You're just gonna slow both you up and let them catch you. They're still fighting each other. They're trading back and forth, but so is the second pair of cars, so nobody's actually gaining here. Running out of laps. Just keep trading. There's 3 coming behind now. There's 2 to go at the line. And their draft is being... Yeah, they got a big sniff of draft back there. Here comes the field. Daniels finally pulls out ahead. And now here come Kevin and Calgal on the bottom. Patrick's gonna snooker him. It's gonna be the white flag here. Patrick coming forward. White flag. One more time around. Car's coming with a big run. Now look at this. Mark Guthrie back up here. He was a lap down earlier too. Kevin going backwards. Patrick jumps to the inside. Push from Guthrie. Down the back. They're alongside. Off of turn 4. I think Patrick's got this. He does. Patrick Calgal's gonna win at Kansas. Guthrie comes home second. Then it's gonna be Daniels, Vatcher. Ooh, what was the next car in line? Yeah, Daniels, Vatcher, Corbett. Then Courtney, Davis, Rebo Womack, Mike Carroll, Andre Diggs, Nigel Ramaswamy, Brandon Cruz-Monsivez, Matt Bontempi, Broderick Whitman, Ronaldo Scott, Doug Spark, JT Armstrong, Jim Fitzmaurice, Connor Germain, Tony Tonto Jr., and Scott Drake round out the lead lap cars. 1 lap down, Bernard Persson. 2 laps down, Mark Huron. Scott Deutsch, Alex Stello. 3 laps down, Tom Barber and Curtis Griffin. 4 down, Jacob Stumpf and Yari Rodriguez. Parked at the end of the race, Jack Painter. Out of the race, Ron Stout, Ken Joint, Frank Womack with a horrendous crash. Adam Beresford, Joe Polson, Reno Jackson also in that horrendous crash. Philip Parker, Jared Mogard, Aaron Cummings, Isaac Groth, Larry Sheldrick, Rains, and Ferrer. Let's have a look at the point standings after this event. Next week will be the road course Lime Rock. We might see some ringers for that. I haven't seen a lot of that this season. Alright, let's see. Dave Daniels lead up to 85 points. Frank Womack has moved back to 3rd. Guthrie's taken over the 2nd spot. Calgal passes Heron. Kevin up 5 spots. Rabo up 2. Beresford drops 2. Whitman drops a spot. Ronaldo holds station. Doug Spark picks up 5. Ken Joint down 5. Andre Diggs picks up 2. Parker down 1. Cruz-Monsivez gains a spot. Cummings down 2. Vatcher picks up a spot. Scott Drake drops 1. Nigel Ramaswamy up 2 spots, now in the top 20. Ron Stout and Stephen Lowe drop spots. Let's see, David Courtney and Mogard gained spots. Stephen Davis missed the race and lost some spots. Rains down 2. Tommy Davis picks up 2. Cheeseman didn't make the show, he lost 2. Brian Lowe didn't make it, lost 2. Harding, same deal. Matt Bontempi picks up 3 by being in the show over 3 that didn't. Stella picks up 5 spots, all on people that didn't make the race. Scott Deutsch passes Van Buren, who, shocker, didn't make the race. Sheldrick gains 2, Stump up 4, Ibushi and Ortiz down 2, Barber up 3, Shadle down 2, Rodriguez picks up a spot. Stapleton down 4. Curtis Griffin climbs 2 spots. 7. Hawkins down spots. Last in points is Thomas Ferrer. That is the only race he's made this season. It was also the only race for Curtis Griffin so far, and Isaac. Still a couple of drivers who have not been in a race yet this season. We'll have to see if that changes in the coming weeks or not. And we will hopefully have medical updates on Frank Womack and not Yari Rodriguez, and Reno Jackson shortly. Stay tuned to your Bonanza news sources for more information on those topics. Thank you, and see you at Lime Rock.